teams to play each other as well. That's the angle here. Wants TL at full power. But honestly, a lot of people looking towards LYON. That is the bigger story, of course, with them signing Castle at the last day before the trade deadline and then still playing big dokes.
Yeah. I mean, it is a little bit surprising to me as well, but of course it would take some time to maybe adapt to that system. And they could play Castle in game 2. But I want to say the biggest story for me today is Jose and Inspired meeting up. The number 1 and number 2 MVP candidates, in my opinion, for this split. And you already know when you are going to be matching up in a series like this directly against each other towards the end of the split, that is going to change people's hearts and minds on who is the better jungler this split.
It's going to have so much weight. We already know that there's much more heavy weight on games towards the end of a split versus
Triple
the beginning.
ban on Jose.
And having it be the head-to-head only makes it that much more intense. Triple ban against Jose, like you're saying, popular long-range ganking junglers like the Pantheon and the Nocturne, alongside his trademark Lee Sin. Over on the other side, much more standard, just high-power tier list bans with the Varus, Bard, and Orianna banned out by TL.
Yeah, and it of course, is going to mean that you have the Ezreal Karma options up on the bottom side. You have the Ashe Seraphine, and so generally, even with the nerfs to Karma, the Ezreal Karma still has had so much success versus the Ashe Seraphine. It's one of the main lanes that has had that success, and so LYON say, fine, you know what? Berserker Isles, this is going to be a very key lane for us for victory. So we're going to lock the Karma preemptively, expecting that you Ashe Seraphine. But literally, we had Spawn, after the first time they had an Ashe Seraphine comp, it was like Ashe Seraphine, Ornn, and Yeon, and he was like, yeah, they gave us 4 out of 5 of our best champions. We didn't even have to do much. So TL very confident in this and very, very confident in piloting these style comps.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really exciting. And I feel like a lot of the talk has been about Berserker and Isles being the best bot lane in the league. Yeon and Core, well, Yeon wasn't really looking like himself towards the start of the split, but I feel like this last couple of weeks he has been on fire. And I feel like these two bot lanes are the two current best in the league right now, matching up against each other. So it is going to be exciting to see with that top level competition how it will go. Jarvan obviously makes a lot of sense for Inspired. You have 2 low mobility carries down to that bot lane. Generally, you see, either Pantheon or Jarvan or something like that. You want to have the ability to gank and to attack these carries, and Inspired's going to be able to grab one.
Yeah, jungle is one part of that, and then oftentimes too, we'll see even mid lane picks tend towards that, towards like Akali and stuff like that, to try and get assassination picks to take advantage of when Seraphine and Ashe do not have their flashes. So we'll see how dive and attack oriented LYON want to get. Since Ezreal Karma is long range and is poke, you can go a couple ways with it.
And despite those 3 bans against Josedeodo here in the first half of the draft, he's still going to find a very powerful pick for himself in the Xin Zhao. It's not like you can take everything from the top of the table off in game number 1, so they wanted to eliminate the signature pick alongside the 2 big long-range junglers to help the bottom lane, but still getting the Xin, Jose will be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been one of his best performing champions as well. He's performed, extremely well this whole split, obviously, but the Xin, he's had some huge games too, and Xin is perfect with Seraphine, because your ult can buy time that you can always get into a good position for Seraphine to bounce her ult off your head and get the extra range, because you can buy so much time with the Xin ult. So, TL, as you said, Flowers, definitely not too unhappy with all the jungle focused bans.
Yeah, not going to be unhappy about that at all, but it is an interesting strategy if you go forward and maintain these bans, because when you look at his most played champions, the top 4 is Pantheon, Xin, Lee Sin, and Jarvan, right? So 2 of the top 4 now are going to be banned by Fearless. If you maintain these other bans, you are pushing him down the table quite a bit. And it's an interesting strategy, because if you feel like, hey, Jose really is standout on these top picks and maybe a little bit weaker on the bottom ones, then maybe that's something you can exploit going into a game 2 or a potential game 3.
And as we're looking at the second half of the bans come through here, solo lane's the name of the game for both sides, since we still need top laners and mid laners for both teams, with top lane taking most of the focus here. Team Liquid going to ban out 2 of the powerful AP carry top laners specifically. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. It means you want to play some big meatball with Rumble and Gwen banned away. Over on the other side, they ban Ryze, as well as one of the signature meatballs of League of Legends in the Scion.
Yeah, and as we said, a couple of times they have played the Ornn to slot in here for Morgan, so you get that long range engage, and like when you have the Ashe and the Seraphine and some sort of top lane tank with another form of engage, your team fights are just so simplistic. It's very easy, and then you just need some burst damage from from Quid and Aurora. Definitely some pretty big follow up and flank opportunities as well.
Of course, Morgan doesn't want to just blind Orin with Dhokla being over on the other side. Could be a vain answer. Could be, a number of these different counter picks that Dhokla is willing to go into. So that's why they're throwing out the Aurora, which could, of course, be a flex between mid and top based on the matchups.
Exactly. Keep them guessing. Little flex pick goes a long way.
But I don't believe them. I think Morgan's playing a tank. They need engage.
Isles is yawning at it too. He doesn't believe.
Mm-hmm.
Not fooling him. All right. So
Ooh.
with the Twisted Fate, this is another tool that you can use to get summoner spells off of Ashe Seraphine. It's again, we were talking about, the Jarvan, you can punish low mobility carries for the bottom lane. Same thing with mid picks. And Twisted Fate is one of those that can punish in the the early stages. Oftentimes when you pick Twisted Fate as well, you want to carry top laner so you can keep them guessing whether you're going bottom lane or going top lane and have your choice.
I don't know if they would do it. I mean, some of the responses that become pretty standard against things like TF, people really like Jax for Counter-Strike, be able to avoid the gold card. But I also think Malphite goes pretty hard in a comp like this. Gragas is much safer if they want to go that option, but I feel like Malphite is such a good matchup into Jayce. You have a low mobility mid laner and top laner. Instead, it is going to be Gragas. This is a matchup we've seen come out a couple times in the last weeks. People are just playing a lot of Comet Gragas, and it's an okay answer into a lot of these ranged matchups, such as the Jayce. And if your jungler gets up there, you have great gank assist. You can punish champions like the Jayce, like the TF, like the Karma. Of course, Ezreal has the ability to potentially buffer the shift on your body slam, but some explosive engage now between the Ashe and that Gragas.
Man, I don't know. I like the Lion side. I think they did accomplishment. Like you have pushing lanes for both top and bottom, so you can keep them guessing which one you're going to. Mm-hmm. You have lots of pressure with both Jarvan and Twisted Fate. The question is, if you make a mistake and you give up kills, you give up momentum and gold in the game to this Team Liquid team, that team fight is insane.
It is funny, though, because I feel like if Castle was playing, I would actually believe in this comp more. I just don't see Dhokla as a dominant Jayce player. His laning phase has been his weakness, and I feel like you need to be that point of power that you want to play towards in the side lane. And I think for Dhokla, it's been more about his team fighting, less about his 1v1s. So I'll be interested to see if he can prove me wrong in this one.
Exactly. This is his day to prove everyone wrong. They just signed Castle at the end of the trade deadline, and yet he is still starting here. Dhokla is still standing. So there's a lot of extra pressure on this match. Makes it even more hype. He has a lot to prove.
This Lion comp to me, boys, looks like an FF20 comp one way or the other. You either dominate your lanes, you slam the enemy team, and they just want to get out and go next, or it doesn't work out, you lose those early kills like you're talking about, and then all of a sudden, what do you do against this team fighting? Yeah,
I mean, it is interesting. Obviously, when you think of TF, you think of playing to those side lanes, but you also do have some really strong poke, and once you're on a couple items and you have a rapid fire, you walk forward, you gold card anyone, they get hit by True Shot Barrage, by a Mystic Shot, they get hit by a Shock Blast. There's a lot of follow-up on that to poke people down. Also worth noting, Morgan is playing Grasp, which surprises me quite a bit in this melee versus range matchup. Mostly people do play Comet. Of course, you can sometimes, if he goes Hammer form, get in there and get a nice little trade, and it's probably going to be a body slam start here and just try to get a bit down there onto Dhokla.
Yep, trades exchanged. It also is going to put more pressure in the later stages towards those team fights on the initiation of the Ashe and the Gragas. Because if you let the poke team, aka Lion, who have Jayce, Ezreal, and Karma, poke you down, as bottom lane is getting poked down a little bit here, if you let them poke you down ahead of time, then your status, even as a team fighting, quote-unquote 5-on-5 team, is going to be way less favorable. So you have to jump on these opportunities. You have to have good vision control. You have to make good timings on your Ashe arrows and good plays with your snap engage from a Gragas.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, when your team is getting poked down, it puts so much pressure on you to engage quickly. You feel like, I gotta go, we're losing health. And then if you rush it and you fail your engage, then all of a sudden you're gold carded up and you're just killed off easy on the other side. So definitely gonna be a high pressure game, I feel like, for Morgan.
Yeah, I mean, poke comps versus engage is always one of my favorite because there is so much pressure.
All right, well, as we trade back and forth in the lanes here early on, Raz is live with Lions coach Rigby to discuss the decision to start Dhokla in the top lane today.
That's right, I got Rigby with me. So you conducted the NA-Men interview in which you talked about it. Oh, it seems like there's a lot happening here. You did talk about the 6-man roster and that you were kind of low-key opposed to the idea. What has the process been like, being able to kind of manage it and, of course, deciding to have Dhokla start this week with it?
I mean, I wasn't opposed to like 6-man. I was like 4 6-man, not like just changing in general.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad to work with like 2 different top laners who have like different strengths. But like we just chose Dhokla for this week as like game 1 because like we have like own plans of like winning the game, and then like Nishib is like definitely more aligned with it than Castle, so that's why he was chose for game 1. It's for strategic reason, and then I'm sure it's gonna like go that way until like the split is over. So yeah, that's why we chose Nisha for game 1, and then I'm enjoying it right now.
That's awesome. If you can expand on the strengths and weaknesses that you see in Dhokla and of course from Castle.
I mean, for Nishib, like when he is ahead or his comfortable in the game, like his decision making is like a veteran. And then he's like such a calm person or like chill person to like play the game with. So he gets control of the team well when we're like too hyped or something. So that's like the strengths of Dhokla. And then for Castle, his laning, right? But in terms of his laning, like I haven't had experience with him throughout the whole split. So regarding like champ pull and stuff, like he definitely has like champ that he excels on. So we're gonna like keep looking to it. Like it's not just for this game, it's gonna be for playoffs and then in scrims too. So we're just gonna look for as much as option as possible right now.
Thanks a ton for that. A lot of action happening here, so you can go back and check this game out. I'm gonna send this one straight back to the casters. Thanks a ton.
All right, thank you very much, fellas. As bottom lane is getting spicy, CoreJJ forced to flash away. Berserker's waiting for the flash follow. It's first blood and make it a 2-for-1 deal for the LYON bottom lane.
The Ezreal Karma reigns supreme again, and it is Berserker Isles saying, yes, we are the best bottom lane in the LCS.
Yeah, that was really nicely played there by Berserker and Isles, slowly whittling them down and then just finding their moment here. Yeon and Core really wanted to reset. Isles had nice timing on that Q, hit Yeon right as he was walking up to last hit on that wave, and then the tether lands, and they just full send it. Core is trying to push Berserker back to keep him away from Yeon, who is getting tethered up.
Should just leave it, I guess.
Yeah, should have just reset earlier, but you know, they thought that they had the ability to push it in. Core took too much damage and didn't even use his heal going down there, which is pretty costly. If he got that heal off, was it still on cooldown from earlier?
It might have been.
I'm gonna double check.
Okay, all right. You go back and check that one. We're gonna see where everything else is
Still
right
on
now.
cooldown from earlier.
Okay.
Yeon, though, both summoner spells for him as well. Now, Berserker and Isles, of course, they both did flash to make that play, but well worth it. You get control of the bottom lane. You can keep pushing. Inspired says, perfect. I'll start up the dragon. We can channel this, you know, strength into objectives as well.
Exactly. Neither one of the junglers have been getting involved with anything so far. We saw them both starting on the top half of the map, doing their full clears down towards the bottom side. And now with the dragon being started up by Inspired, Josedeodo is looking for a potential lane gank up here in the top lane. No contest for this bottom side objective. Jose walking over the ward now with the sweeper is going to let LYON know that he's up here.
And I was watching Dhokla in lane that whole time. He was playing so far back. He never even went into melee form. He knows they're not contesting dragon. They will be looking for me up here. But now, maybe going to be able to get aggressive.
Meanwhile, Dhokla looking for the solo kill up here in the top side. Brings Morgan down to 100 HP. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, it's Inspired and Saint both coming in. The 4v2 play. They know the summoner spells aren't there from the previous 2v2 kill. Saint stays alive. Yeon's already gone. And CoreJJ, surely not long for this world, but he takes Isles with them. Nice use of the high note there at the very end to at least get something back, but it's still LYON coming out on top.
Coming out on top by a mile. Berserker has gotten 2 kills, 2 assists this early on, and Dhokla just pushed back Morgan after surviving being weak side up there for a little bit. Knew there was a dangerous window. As soon as Jose clears out that ward and is back to clearing, he pushes Morgan back, forces him to base, takes a play, gets a good reset, and you're winning on the other side of the map. Yeah, that is perfect.
Both aggressive sides here for LYON, finding some success. So Inspired goes with the ult, and then EQ here over to Yeon. They're tanking, and then, as you say, Isles kind of walks back close enough for the counter kill. Obviously, you kind of want that.
Oh, nice. Oh, nice. Not bad. Not the worst. Not bad, not bad.
Nice,
Yeah.
not bad, not the worst.
Yeah, see, there's 2 perspectives. I'm like, oh yeah, LYON. Obviously, they want Isles to stick around close enough for allowing them to get a counter kill. But Teal's like, oh, nice, not that bad then. Not as bad.
2v4, got a kill.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Team Liquid. It is still a pretty dire situation here for them in Emily Rand's match of the week.
Not
here.
yours, not
Yeah,
mine.
definitely not.
This is
Anyone
Emily
else's.
Rand's match of the week, and don't you even try to claim it. It's hers, okay?
I mean, we've already got 5 kills in the first 7 minutes here. I'm feeling like Emily's off to a good start.
Good job, Emily.
Yeah, she called it first.
Yep, she's got dibs. But you know what I've got dibs on?
What's that?
This graphic to talk about. Oh, wait.
Okay.
Holy.
All right. What kind of a graphic you got for us?
Ezreal's graphic of the week.
Oh, we got a
but
solo
hold
kill.
on. We have Dhokla trying to get away here as Morgan goes in for the solo. Bolo bangs him on the head with the keg, and he's out of there. Dhokla might have gotten close to getting the solo kills earlier, but it's Morgan who ultimately triumphs.
That's tough.
Ezreal's distraction of the week.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh, no.
That's tough for Dhokla. I mean, and now, you know, it was looking good for him in the early levels, but getting solo killed there and losing your flash.
Meanwhile, nice arrow coming out from Yeon. They fully layer the CC with CoreJJ, and as soon as Josedeodo shows up, there's no way for Isles to escape from that one. Nice play in the top lane from Morgan, followed up by a nice play started by Yeon here in the bottom lane, brings things really back in Team Liquid's favor.
I mean, this is just the inverse of the last play, right? Lion won out on both sides. Now TL wins out on both sides. Jose even committed his W flash there to try to get it. So I want to see how this happens one more time as Dhokla is just taking a little bit of a trade, decides he's going to go in for it, but the cask is ready, and because the previous body slam hit, you get that cooldown refund, and Dhokla realizes that this is not going his way, flashes away from the barrel, but then Morgan has his flash up, so W flash finishes him off, easy peasy, and you can see a bit of frustration there on Dokla's face. When a matchup like this starts going bad, it generally does not really get better.
Yeah, I really like it from Morgan. You know, he chooses the position in lane for the trade really nicely, so he knows if Dhokla tries to trade back on him, he's going to have plenty of room to chase down with the ult, but here we go over the last scrubs. Looks like Inspire will just slip out. We don't actually get a fight over it. But I just, you know, I like that choice from Morgan because either you get a favorable trade, or if Dhokla tries to go in on you in hammer form, then you have an easy ultimate. You can, like, point blank, it's really easy guarantee to be able to hit a good Gragas ulti there to push him back and have the chase down distance.
So I want to get back to the jungle talk because these guys have both been absolutely smurfing. And even in this game, Inspire goes bot, gets a kill. Jose goes bot, gets a kill. It is going to be a battle between these two. Most people I've been talking to do see these two as the top 2 potential MVP candidates. And
Gotta
we
talk to
finally...
more Cloud9 plans.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I guess so. You know, these guys have just been smurfing, right? I think C9 has great candidates in Thanatos and Vulcan. They've both been incredible as well. But most people are looking at these two, and they have been killing it. And now we get them head-to-head in an important match here, and it could decide a lot. This is what the chat voted on when we talked about this in waiting room. Obviously, Jose, extremely popular player, but did dominate the fan vote in chat during waiting room for who they thought was MVP. And, you know, depending on how this series is going, maybe we'll go back to chat and ask them if they want to update those votes.
So the thing that I'm looking at right now is we did have both of our bot lane duos rotate up into the top side briefly, but now that we have the next dragon about to spawn, top laners have repositioned themselves back in their home, the bot laners are back home down here, Berserker's still got an over 1,000 individual gold lead, and Yeon hits another clutch arrow. Dhokla, the victim of the accuracy there from the Team Liquid AD carry, and that means TL's going to tie this one up at 4-4. They take out the enemy top lane right in time for the dragon to spawn.
I think people of every lane and every position hate Ashe Seraphine. It's not just bottom laners. They're like, no, the enemy's got Ashe Seraphine. Junglers hate her.
Something we can all agree on.
Yeah, mid laners hate him. Ashe Arrow's okay, the dragon, though. Let's see about the follow-up, because Dhokla doesn't have teleport when he revives, so he would have to come all the way from base.
Yeah, and you can see Saint's trying to run down here to be at a distance where he could possibly ult in, but Morgan is following him to interrupt that if he tries to use that ulti. So both of them are going to walk down, arrive around the same time. The Drake is already at about 2,000 HP. Yeon is still down towards bottom lane. Inspire goes in for the engage on Josedeodo, who has already secured the Drake here for his team. Lion trying to find a pinch from assault as Josedeodo stays alive for now. Inspire still somehow tanking as Jose falls, but the junglers are both out of the picture. Morgan's in the middle of everybody, and Lion's looking to burn him down. They find it. Berserker goes on a killing spree as Quid tries to go in, but he doesn't have the damage. He seals his own fate instead, and Lion comes out on top.
The Inspire shield there coming down from Isles as Quid flashed forward, prevented him from getting that kill and getting the reset, so he couldn't go back into the invis with it across the veil, ends up going down. But I feel like it was crazy for TL to take that fight. Yeon was so separated from the team he couldn't really get involved.
And now Berserker might just die underneath the turret, flashes away there at the very end, survives with what looked like about 30 HP, as he did get caught by Yeon and CoreJJ, so a summoner spell there, but still, even though Jose got the Drake for Team Liquid, Lion's gonna be much happier about the outcome of my Berserker, just barely, with the Arcane Shift in time to get away from the arrow.
Ooh, I like that. That would be a stylish kill too if it was, if it was the arrow, but Berserker reacts in time. Spawn definitely, you know, head in hands there.
Come Jayce, come Jayce. I wanna go on Xin soon.
Okay.
Can you
I'm ready to Gragas.
I'm looking Jin,
I
guys.
look, Aurora,
Look in.
Aurora, you doing anything?
Yeah. Looks good.
Okay, I have a ton.
I'm looking Gragas first.
Okay.
I don't know
Two
what they
under,
have.
after.
Look, what?
Can you go?
He
I have
doubled in.
flash.
No flash.
Nice, I'll go mid. Oh, I can carry, guys.
Nice.
Berserker reassuring everyone, I can carry, guys. 3-0-4 on the Ezreal. Very, very powerful here. The best thing I think I liked about that replay, though, and the comms listen in, is that previously we have had some moments where LYON has made mistakes where they are not on the same page, but they waited just till Dhokla ran back into range to join the fight, but still before Yeon, as you say, was fully there for Team Liquid. So it's very good timing, and Inspired's like, I will be looking for Xin. And then as soon as Dhokla gets there, they go in, they get a big health lead on the initiation, and even though they lose out on the smite on the dragon, they win out on the fight.
Yeah, I mean, Yeon just couldn't connect with his front line. I mean, when Morgan's going on the engage, Yeon is so far away. I feel like TL just needed to accept that their setup was bad for that fight and just not really go for it, but decided to try to force it, and Yeon did try to kind of run his way through the LYON team to get up there, but just were never really connected. So great calls from LYON, and as you expect, Inspired calling it out in that team fight.
Saint could be in some danger down here in the bottom lane, though. Immediately, Quid goes between worlds, tries to slow him down a little bit, but Josedeodo is not there to follow up in time, so Saint is going to stay pretty safe. And with the Aurora ulti down now and the Rift Herald about to spawn in 15 seconds, LYON could see this as an opportunity to go for that neutral objective from an advantageous state.
Yeah, getting some resets here for TL on the bottom side, and then LYON opened up the push here. I mean, we're still open for first tower bonus too, and generally you want to play these, you know, you want to play any comp from ahead, obviously, but especially these types of comps, you know, where you're drafting TF and you're drafting, you know, some pushing lanes on both sides, and you want to have poke damage so that you can take down the outer towers first, more room for TF to work with, but also keep up the siege pressure here. I mean, the poke from Berserker is going to hit very, very hard.
I mean, just look at Saint and Berserker. Their gold leads are huge at this point in the game as Quid takes a big chunk there from Dhokla. Still does not have his ultimate back. And yeah, that team fight really put the gold exactly where LYON would want it. It's already 2 items done here at 15 minutes for Saint. That is super fast. Has the Lich Bane completed. You have to think the Rapid Fire is probably coming in next. And then it's kind of like I talked about in draft. You don't necessarily have to just play side lanes or look for these crazy picks. You just gold card whatever is in front of you, and everyone shoots their poke at them, and they lose half their health.
Poke, 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 poke. See if they can get it. Also, you're very safe in mid lane. I love Mikhail's rush versus Ashe Seraphine always from my supports. So Isles will be there for plenty of safety. In addition to a cleanse, you have just so many answers to the engage from Team Liquid. And just got to keep your eyes on Gragas. You know, Morgan definitely can be a big difference maker. He's had a very good Gragas game so far for the team. But you're going to have to, you know, come up with some pretty good surprise plays.
Looks like LYON is not even going to contest the Rift Herald here. It's Team Liquid taking the opportunity to use the control over the top side of the map that they have to just guarantee that objective. And like you already mentioned, there's only 1 turret taken so far in this game now, so plenty of chances to use that one as the arrow gets sidestepped. The Seraphine Encore does not. Saint staying alive for now, tries to get away, and will successfully use the ulti to get out after enduring the enemy CC that could have interrupted it.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the 2 items. He's got 4 stacks on his rod already, fairly tanky, just kind of absorbs the damage, and good awareness. You know, Rift Herald's coming, I'm going to get dove here, so just ult his way on out. After that Seraphine ulti was used. Good kind of weak side, Twisted Fate escape from Saint while his jungler picks up the dragon. This one uncontested, so a much easier smite.
Yeah.
And you just keep your pressure up. He immediately teleports the Twisted Fate down to the bottom lane, as you just saw. He pushes that bottom wave in. Berserker had full mid lane priority pushing this one in. And so LYON are playing this, kind of checking all the boxes that you want to keep up. Start with the early lead, keep that pressure up.
And now Berserker with the Manamune completed almost as it evolved into the Muramana. There's the gold card as they full send it after Yeon. They need a little bit more damage to seal the deal. The Cataclysm is committed. Inspired also flashing away to guarantee there's no real effective counterpunch coming out from TL. But nice killer instinct from LYON to find a pick on the enemy AD carry through both summoner spells. All the meanwhile, Dhokla is also taking the tier 1 turret top.
I mean, they spent a lot to get the kill, but they got that kill. That was double flash. That was multiple ultimates. That is everything in the kitchen sink just thrown at Yeon. But now Yeon is going to have to play this next team fight without a flash, which is so difficult to do when you are playing Ashe into a champion like Jarvan. You know, even if you can just Cataclysm and Flag and Drag out, you can just leave that guy locked in there while you play the rest of the fight.
I just love this so far from LYON. They're playing to their win cons really effectively, keeping up high pressure in side lanes on all of the lanes, then making the rotation. Saint here, a really good Twisted Fate play, you know, getting the gold card, flashing in, investing the summer spells on a good timing after he had teleported to bottom side, after he had avoided the play on the top side. I just think LYON, they're doing the necessary things to keep up the pressure and increase this gold lead at a very good rate for themselves.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job. Saint also, I love the Swift March in a game like this. There's so many slows over on the other side. And I think a lot of people forget how offensively good they can be as well. It's 22 adaptive force he already has from those boots. You get more based on your move speed. That's more than an amp tome worth of AP already this early in the game.
Just on your shoes. Up 1.7 thousand gold there in the mid lane for Saint. Nearly a 3,000 individual gold lead for Berserker. Back at the end of draft, I said that LYON's comp is an FF20 comp. Either they want to surrender because you're so far ahead, or you want to surrender because the lanes didn't go your way. 5,500 gold lead. 30 seconds before 20 minutes into the game.
That's pretty good.
Yep. If I'm on the other team, I'm like, is everybody ready to vote yet? Or how are we feeling about this one? Because LYON is dominating.
I think Morgan says, give me a chance at making a play. You know, maybe some Gragas flank play with a flash, you know, a body slam and an ult combination to try and break up the power here. They did get the one dragon early. So they did kind of stall out a bit, buy themselves some time, even though that fight obviously cost them a lot of gold, some golden kills. So they're thinking maybe we can get our one really good play. You have to have like a very quick and sneak attack play, some sort of flank here. But it gets really, really insanely difficult once you get the rapid fire on Twisted Fate. He doesn't have to have flash for those gold card plays because he'll just have Swift March and run at you with the extra range of rapid fire. And
Karma shields for speed up too.
It's really, really you know, difficult once they get to this break point here. So there is a lot of pressure on TL.
There really is. I mean, it's also interesting to note from Morgan, he is not going AP at all. This is just pure tank Gragas. So, you know, he is going Iceborne, and he did actually skip Q. So this is something we talked about on the dive with the W buff. I was theory crafting, hey, maybe you could actually just go tank Gragas and put points in W early, because at max rank W, which he has, it's 8% more flat damage reduction than the previous Gragas. So I think it's actually interesting to see that experiment coming through, because we have seen Fimbulwinter plus Roa. We've seen Roa plus Archangels. Now this is just full tank with actual 5 points in W early on.
Yep, he knows. I got to get in there, and I got to get a good angle so I can cask effectively to get kills back for the rest of my team. You know, ideally you get him and Quid on flanks, and we'll see if TL can actually set up the dream team fight. But LYON here, I mean, 3 items Berserker already. The Endless Hunger feels so good for him. It really does look good for them. I mean, it's hard to track Ezreal already, but we mentioned the Mikhails plus the cleanse, so let's see if they can actually end it out. It is very fun to see the teams at the top of the table, Flowers, here, performing.
And now they're about to perform yet again for a Drake. For LYON, this will bring them to Soul Point if they can claim it. For TL, they would love to just buy themselves even more time. But taking a fight in open ground over one of these neutral objectives, when you're 5,500 gold down 22 minutes into the game, it's a really scary proposition.
It is, and Saint, I think he's going to base and have his rapid fire. He's going to be on 3 items, and Berserker's going to be on 3 items. If I'm TL, I want nothing to do with this dragon. I think you will get slammed if you show up and try to fight this one, so I expect them to be out of there, and there is that completed rapid fire. Roa is about to tick to 10. Yeah, TL have no business going for this one, and they know it.
Roa is about to tick to 10, and Saint is about to hit level 15 naturally, so then that'll be level 16 instant on the TF. Just, there's all sorts of nightmare material here for TL. They don't want anything to do with it. They will just concede the objective. So LYON are going to move the Soul Point 22.5 minutes into the game. That means at the 27:30 mark, the pressure will be on for TL to stop LYON somehow at this neutral. How do we get there for a TL squad that's now 5,000 gold behind and has been for the last 5 minutes?
I mean, they're just going to, until the moment, try and lose as little as possible. And try and not give up too much vision around Baron. This LYON team has a lot of damage. They could, try and make some Baron plays. So give up as little as possible. Maybe you can make some vision plays. It's hard when an enemy has TF, though.
Okay, Jose finds a little damage onto Berserker, but Berserker gets even more back. Nobody's going to full commit for anything here.
I mean, I think it's going to be the same story that Kobe was already talking about earlier, where it's just the engage from Morgan. It's the follow-up CC. It's looking bad, it's looking bad, it's looking bad, but then you knock in 2 of these carries, they get comboed, and all of a sudden they are 100-0'd with the Crystal Arrow, with the Encore, with all the CC coming over the top. So there is always that possibility because of the playmaking that TL has, but really you get one more Dragon fight, because if you are this far behind and you lose Mountain Soul, your explosive engage is not going to kill them through everything there.
Ooh, and there's the gold card onto Josedeodo. Inspired right behind it, but doesn't want to full commit. You can see he did the spear followed by the flag just to make sure that he gets the damage down, but he didn't want to commit to trying to go all in further for a play. Top laner is still going to be positioned down here on the other side of the map, fighting over control of that bottom lane as Saint gets the top side pushed out. Yeon's arrow is on cooldown because we saw him go for the attempt on Saint when he was isolated in the top side river. The arrow went just a little bit wide, so that one didn't work out. Morgan's still looking for these scrappy encounters with Dhokla, but knocks him the wrong direction. So Dokla's still just going to be A-okay on that one. Also had Isles and Berserker both heading down, so no way Morgan could have killed him off.
It does look kind of funny, though. I mean, he misses his Q, he uses E to go in, and then basically just bops you with the W, but the damage reduction on that thing is so high now, with the buffs, that even with the tiny bit of AP he has, it's 27% flat damage reduction, plus he's got quite a bit of armor, really high CDR, and all the healing on his passive. So it's just not an extended fight that Dhokla can win, no matter how many spells you hit or do not hit.
Definitely annoying in isolation, but if we look at the group, honestly, I think it's still going to be annoying for TL because you have to worry about Isles positioning. That Mikhail's puts a stop to so many of the pick opportunities that you want to create. Obviously, Berserker, as we said, already has his own cleanse on top of the Mikhail's, but if the Karma is hovering around anybody, it's very difficult to go for Ashe Arrow attempted picks. That's why you see, Ashe Arrow is even being thrown at a Twisted Fate that has all the move speed with Swift March, because they're like, well, at least Isles isn't next to him. Maybe we could get a pick or something. But it would take some errors there from LYON to actually get hit sometimes. So it looks very good and very controlled here for LYON, just the way Inspired likes to play.
Well, it feels like the pressure then is on TL to not find so much the one pick off of an Ashe Arrow, but it's got to be the angle in the team fight for Jose to go in, shoot the Seraphine ulti over the top of his head, and hit multiple people with the Encore. Make Isles choose who he saves with the Mikhail's, and that's tougher to do than it sounds.
And you can't Mikhail's the Gragas combo, right? So that's kind of really becoming so important that you have that CC then following it up, like you're talking about. You get that great engage, then you have all the follow-up, and you're hoping that that is going to work for you, but your engages have to be so on point. There's the Mikhail's, the Shirelias is now completed as well, so you step a little bit too far forward. Inspire goes over onto the TF, you get sped up by that Karma Shield, you get the Shirelias popped, and he can just run at you with that gold card, no problem.
And now LYON is taking their opportunity to move through the enemy jungle, clear out some of this vision. It's less than 90 seconds until the Drake spawns, and LYON has only built their lead since the last neutral fight that TL fully conceded. LYON is up to a 6,500 gold lead now. They're taking all the camps from the enemy jungle, they're laying down vision, and they're getting ready for this big objective.
They should be saying, give all the money you can right now to Inspired to complete GA. If you have your jungler with GA for the Dragon Soul and enemy, there's no way Jose's going to get enough money for it. He only has one component right now. I think if you hit that breakpoint, it's like, holy moly, the fight is so stacked against you.
Nice stun there from Saint onto Jose. Ashe arrow fired out, but it misses. That's a pretty important cooldown to not have available when this dragon spawns. Team Liquid, they just can't find their shots.
And Inspired is just power farming so heavily. 254 CS at 27 minutes. He's almost at 10 CS per minute as a Jarvan, which people are like, well, Jarvan's the early game guy. You got to chain gank.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think I will.
He wants that. Can he get his recall? It's too close to the Dragon Soul now. So at the very least, he hasn't gone back to spend it to actually make a GA. So there is hope for TL. They're going to make their stand, clear out the wards, and hope for the best.
All right, Team Liquid is first to the area. Accelerated Shock Blast #1, not going to find a whole lot. Saint has wrapped around on the backside of the fight, ready to try to cut off the TL escape. Morgan goes over the wall, looks for Dhokla. Doesn't want to overcommit only onto the Jayce, but continues moving forward to create a little bit of extra space for TL as they regroup in the bottom side of this river. LYON now going to bring Saint back towards the rest of the team. Josedeodo keeps the dragon aggroed. TL trying to play this very slowly. Saint has the gold card ready to go yet again. Wants to save that rapid fire for a time where the whole team can make something happen with it. TL DPSing the Drake down to about half HP now. Dhokla still waiting off to the side. TL grouped up as 5. Accelerated Shock Blast hits Yeon there. Morgan has already lost about half his HP. Berserker doing good damage here with the Ezreal. Dhokla jumps in. Team Liquid's got to be careful here. Josedeodo on the front line, but he's all stunned up. The damage onto the Zhao comes through, but they will not kill him off here just yet. Josedeodo jumping in, trying to find the damage here onto Inspire. Get rid of the enemy jungler, but Berserker's unstoppable and Yeon is dead. Enemy AD carried down and LYON has found their moment to pounce. They want even more and they're gonna get everybody. It's a massacre in the bottom side river, a triple kill to Saint on the Twisted Fate. It's a 5-for-1 and this one's done. LYON rip them to ribbons.
LYON just dissected TL in this team fight. Dhokla was going back and forth with Quid, had him chunk low. Morgan goes to the engage. Look at that sidestep from Dhokla, makes him look silly, dodges the explosive cast with just a beautiful sidestep there. And on the other side, Saint, Berserker flashing in onto Yeon, finishing him off, and that is that. You've committed on one side, failed there. Their carries commit on the other side and take out yours.
They just play their range so well here. LYON don't overextend. They poke, they poke, they poke. They force you into such a terrible position there for TL. And then when the moment is right, they double flash on you with their carries. They get their kills. They get not only the Dragon Soul, but the Baron, and Flowers, honestly, the game.
Yup, this is a 12,000 gold lead now with the Mountain Soul. 29 minutes in here. I am expecting a full send for the Nexus push from LYON. I feel like they've got to be, for lack of a better word, inspired to end the game here.
Absolutely. And Saint just finished his death cap. He's got 24 stack Mage Eyes, is on a pretty perfect game at this point, has been crushing it alongside Berserker. Their gold leads are monumental.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm fairly proud to have a North American team play this comp really well. This is one of those comps that people look at and they're like, well, it's not the easiest to play. You know, it's not the straightforward, oh yeah, we're just going to group up and front to back, 5-on-5. You have to play your range well, work around your gold card timings, around your poke timings, not overcommit on flanks, get the early leads for yourselves. And LYON have just really played to their win cons here and executed when necessary.
Now they're grouping up here on the top side. They quickly force down the tier 2 turret, reduce that one to rubble. Inspired is leading the split push over in the mid lane there at the same time to get that tier 2 removed so they can pressure 2 separate inhibitor turrets at once. Team Liquid is just scrambling to try to buy a little bit of time before the minion waves start colliding with the tier 3s. As long as Saint has the rapid fire ready, it's easy for him to find single auto attacks onto these turrets if he wants to. Both Baroned up cannon minions gonna die there in the top lane now as Dhokla rotates back over to mid, changing from a 4-1 into a 3-2 split.
I mean, it's just so tough because Morgan is the one answering mid lane, but he's also the only one that can really step up when Saint has a gold card, right? So, you know, as soon as the gold card is popped, Morgan is mid, everyone from TL walks backwards, and that means the minions come up, you slowly are chipping away at these turrets, and LYON is not going to rush it. They have Dhokla pushing bot now, so they're playing 3 waves here. No one is down answering bot. That tower is going to be gone in about a second here as soon as Dhokla steps forward, but he's playing it very safe, not waiting, not going to go in early and get picked off.
And you saw how much damage Saint does with a single blue card with Death Cap, Lich Bane, nearly full stack Mage Eyes. This guy can knock that thing down in 2 more hits, and so the pressure on Team Liquid is just absolutely immense here as Saint is going to step back, sees Morgan walking towards him, doesn't want to potentially get caught out. LYON playing this very slow, very methodically. They've only got the Baron for another 45 seconds.
I think that 45 seconds may still be painful for TL, but they're going to pull the trigger.
Yeah, Quid tries to go in. The arrow hits Inspired, but he's immediately freed from the stun by the Mikhails. Now Saint has the opportunity to pop the tier 3 turret up there in the top lane right after, regroups with the rest of the team. The inhibitor turrets have been destroyed in all 3 lanes nearly simultaneously as Team Liquid's defensive engage completely fails. Bottom lane inhibitor down, mid lane inhibitor down, top lane inhibitor exposed, and TL's base is crumbling.
They're just peeling them apart, you know, one layer at a time, one tower at a time, slowly moving forward, getting good poke, chipping away at the structures. LYON is playing this game out perfectly here.
Guys,
Zen bot side, Zen
I
bot
promise
side.
if we just fight, we'll win.
Shut up, please.
Fight, we'll win.
Shut up, please. Focus.
He's like, Inspired always wants to be controlled, man. You know, Dhokla be like, I honestly, we've all been there. You're getting a little bored. You're like, come on, let's just fight. We'll win.
We're on 14K,
come on, let's fight.
we got Soul.
Inspired's like, we stick to the plan. The checklist, our siege is good. We have the advantage. You know, we've got our Baron buff. We keep poking. We prod. We get the inhibitors down. Focus, focus, focus.
Gotta be careful. You might be getting subbed out for game 2 with talk like that.
Oh my goodness. I mean, so some people, since we have time here.
We were all thinking it.
Yeah, and since we have time here, they've got a 4K lead, 14K lead. Everyone knows they're going to win. One criticism that people have had, of course, for LYON over the years and some Inspired teams is that sometimes they play too slow. Some people do kind of lean into that in certain scenarios, but he really values the control and sticking to the game plan and staying focused on the siege. And yeah, they've got 14K plus the Dragon Soul, so here it comes.
Yep, final inhibitor about to fall here in top lane. They're letting that one bleed out slowly as the super minions come crashing into the base. Nexus turrets, all that's left standing between LYON and the Team Liquid Nexus itself. Stun onto Josedeodo, not a ton of damage there just yet. Morgan here on the front line, trying to stop these guys, but the Nexus turret's already down to half HP each. Ashe arrow flies out, but Dhokla's ready to flash away from it. Josedeodo down to about 1/4 HP, tries to jump in. Does not have a Guardian Angel, only a Death's Dance. Saint goes in, flashes inside of the range to guarantee he can kill him through the ulti. Saint's gonna die, but he still takes one with him. 1-for-1 trade here so far as Quid tries to flash away, but Berserker's already dominating. Morgan back into the fountain as Nexus turrets die. Re-engage from Inspired right after to find another kill. CoreJJ dies on the steps of the fountain. And LYON's gonna go ahead and get themselves an ace for one, a triple for Berserker, an 18-7 performance, and LYON dominate game 1.
Honestly, yeah, beautiful game. And they stay focused and controlled the whole time, Flowers, playing to the game plan, playing to the win cons.